Beautiful, brilliant people. Let's start this one off just by reading the document itself. October 19, 2022. Taxpayer notification, sales tax exemption. This is the department that deals with taxes at Illinois. Everything herein is the same thing in every other state. State of Illinois, Department of Revenue. So automatically this is letting you know which department you're going to be interfacing with when it comes to doing this. See, the expectation of me doing this video is that you watch it. Don't just close the tab or close the video. Once you've watched it, see yourself as having a relatable condition to everything you've just seen. See yourself as having a letter like this in your respective state or whatever area you're doing business at. See it referring to you. The subject matter, sales tax exemption. When people tell you they don't pay taxes, they are right. There are different types of taxes. There's sales tax, there's use tax, there's income tax. See, sales tax and use tax are intertwined. Use tax is the stuff they charge you with your vehicle. And the way sales tax is intertwined with that is, in order for that vehicle to be used, automobile, whatever the hell people want to call it, in order for that to be used, it has to first be transferred. When it's transferred, there's something called sales tax. The principle that governs sales tax and use tax are the exact same thing. Because for something to be used, it has to first be transferred from the point of production all the way to the point of use. Sales tax and use tax are the same thing in different form. At North America, when you get your sales tax, you can intertwine into many other types of use tax. When I show the video regarding putting your vehicles in a trust, and I tell you, you're not going to be paying those monthly or yearly or quarterly sticker fees, depending on your jurisdiction. It is because of this. Because those forms would ask you for an E number. For instance, at Illinois, the form is called RUT50. And here's instruction for that, which is a private party vehicle transfer. It tells you in the specific box, box 4, exemption. Mark the appropriate box and write 0 if you're exempt. And it tells you the list of the entities that are exempt. Charitable, religious, educational, organization with an active Illinois Department of Revenue exemption number. Department of Revenue, sales tax exemption. Whenever you transfer any given property and you pay taxes on it initially, that triggers use tax. Whenever you buy a property and transfer a property and you pay that tax on the county and state level, that triggers property tax. Whenever you transfer a vehicle or an automobile or a machine from one hand to the other while it's being sold and you pay sales tax, that sales tax trigger use tax. This is the fundamental principles of how taxation works. Without blowing our head off and blowing this thing through our ears, reading case laws, all those summaries of those case laws basically tell you, in order for use tax to exist, it has to first be triggered by sales tax. If you're exempt based on sales tax, then you can show evidence of it based on the predominant laws and principles that's readily available based on your state legislature. Use tax does not get triggered. It's like the presumption of innocence. It gets triggered by something called an affirmative defense. It's like something called rights. It gets triggered by your competence first. Not just the will to say you have the right or the will to fight. That's not enough. Freedom and right is not triggered by your will. It's triggered by your competence. This is the 17th one that I've gotten. Just like with the express trust, each specific asset or affair, every 5 or 10 of those that's done, a separate entity, a separate E number, a separate trust, a separate affairs is created. You should do the exact same thing. America is the land of the free for a good reason. Inflation is going up. Everything is going up. No one should be suffering in a world where so much opportunity exists. These people can do these things arbitrarily because they know that solution exists on the other end. Now the question is, how does the sales tax exempt link with any of the stuff that I've just mentioned? If rent prices are going up and gas prices are going up and people are complaining about it, it's not those prices going up that people are complaining about. It's their inability to make monies to afford those things that they're making reference to. It's their inability to have a peace of mind as those things are going up. If you, on one hand, have certain types of businesses and sales tax exempt, you'll realize that there are opportunities and door open for you to make monies whereby things like prices going up wouldn't matter. And yeah, sales tax is just an addition to something, but if you know how this works, then surely you know automatically, whether you realize it or not, you already know how to do business in a way that's going to make you money. The one most we hear about real estate, they think about other people defrauding others. You don't have to defraud other people to make money in real estate. If you want, you can go the landlord-tenant route, but that's a headache. Why not just let the people have other liability of repairs to the property and you just hold the interest to it? And in holding the interest to it, you don't pay taxes on it, because whoever's name is on the deed is the one that pays the taxes. Now, the one whose name is on the loan for the property is different, or can be different from the one whose name is on the deed. How many people knows that? This is the reason why these mortgage companies can assign these things over and over, because the affairs of the loan mortgage is separate from the affairs of the interest and title. Those are two different issues. But nonetheless, the interest and title and the subject matter of title can and should always supersede that of the loan. Because in order for someone to put a loan on something, someone must have first owned it or had some type of title to it to enter into such a contract. But there are many loopholes based on private contract. And they left those loopholes on purpose so that people can make money. Is it easier to defraud others? Yes, you can. But along the line, hope you don't meet the right person who will sue you. But if you're doing things in good faith, you can take that same principles whereby someone is not able to pay their mortgage, and you can say, you know what, I'll take over your mortgage for you, so long as you sign this agreement to put my name on the deed, and so long as you move out. Just move out of the house. I'll pay for you moving out. I'll take over your monthly mortgage. Just give me the property and just leave the liability of the loan to me, so long as you sign my name to the deed and you move out. And usually you find someone who has like a 250K house with 300K loan. I mean, they're over leveraged, so they'll be more than happy to dump the liability on you. And also, if you're keeping up their mortgage for them, it doesn't show up in their credit as being bad. It shows up as them paying it, because you're paying it for them. And guess what? If you're in commerce, and you know that most banks don't even care whose name that check was sent in, so long as they make reference to the bill and they're getting paid. That's all that matters. You go from there, rent it out for amount higher than the mortgage itself, and you split the difference. Although, since your business name is on the deed now, you're not liable for the taxes. But guess what? You'll be putting that property into a trust. Because remember, the interest of deed ownership is separate from the loan mortgage. And you'll be doing that with entities that has sales tax. There is something called the St. Germain Act, and a clause that tells you if you transfer a property into a living trust, which the express trust or the 508 can act the same way. It doesn't trigger the due on sale clause, which is another issue where you think, well, if the mortgage is still active, how are you transferring the deed? Doesn't the due on sale clause trigger? Nope, there are laws against that. But all that we just spoke of, believe it or not, the simple video is one of the foundation of it. So pay attention. You'll be creating trust and you'll be getting sales tax exemption number. Like you would just casually go out and breathe some good fresh air. Why? Because the system is meant to function that way. When you hear some people tell you they don't pay taxes, income tax, that, sales tax, they're right. They're telling you the truth. Only an ignorant man who is stuck on being easily influenced to be pit against each other and used as a tool of distraction will buy into that and start playing the role of bad guy, good guy. Are there bad guys out there? Yes, there are. Are there good people out there? Yes, there are. But usually the bad guys will not put you into a state of alarm. When that guy told you up there, the Trump guy, when he said he doesn't pay tax, any type of tax, he's saying it from the point of competence. He's not saying it to brag. Or maybe he is, but he has a right to. But the everyday man doesn't, but not anymore. Here's another angle to tax, called sales tax. If you don't know how to do the express trust, if you don't want to do the express trust, if you think it's too complex to get into the foreign trustee, all that, okay, look, no problem. But if I were you, just so you know, all these people, the one who this was written to, this was the foreign trustee. So if you're smart enough, you'll realize that you will be layering everything. But if you want to be simple as possible, and you don't plan on building things on top of one another in the long run, and you just want to get yours in for a couple of years and make your money, not right. That's what you want to do. It might not last long, but you can just do it in a skeletal form without layering it. So you can just create the 508 and go straight to it like this. But again, if I were you, I will layer it. But nonetheless, Department of Revenue, sales tax exemption. You don't have to belong to some Moorish Science Temple of America. You don't have to belong to some group that tells you to pay them dues, or else they're gonna make you an outcast if you don't wear something or praise someone or idol worship. There's nothing wrong with appreciating what someone has done before they left. But that man called Noble Ali also let you know, take your place amongst the fears of man. Noble Ali was doing commerce. We did a video previously about the 508 showing exactly just that. He was going according to this Illinois law. And guess what? He also went through this exact process and received this. Did you know, another thing people will not tell you is, did you know Noble Ali had this exact type of form on that Cook County Recorder of Deed? A lot of people will show you that one-page paper, our authority. They don't show you that Noble Ali also had sales tax exemption. Why? Because they want to tell you commerce is bad. Oh, this corporation, man, give yourself a break. Give yourself a break by learning the right thing before allowing someone to poison your mind. And it's even worse cases, some people don't even speak about this at all. It's just a miss and completely voiding their state of mind. Don't be like that. You can do this. It's simple. People do it every day. This should be your bread and butter. Do a lot of people know it? No. But the ones that do, they do it every day. So here it is. We have enclosed your Illinois sales tax exemption certificate. We have enclosed your Illinois sales tax exemption certificate. Verify that all the information is correct. If any correction are needed, you must contact us immediately at the telephone number listed below. Do not discard. The Illinois sales tax exemption certificate is an important tax document that authorizes you under the Retailer's Occupation Tax Act to purchase tangible personal property for use or consumption tax-free. Let's read that again. This is a sales tax exemption, right? Yet they're telling you there's another law within the state that there is sales tax with use tax and consumption tax. A lot of people going about the Constitution, excise tax is different from this type of tax, and Congress is the only one that can levy it. That's correct. Congress is the only one that can make determination of what can be taxed, and they create public acts in the states to determine how. The complete 24 minutes is on the Patreon page. Take care. Best of luck.